welcome to episode 182 of the Corey Shepherd podcast. Welcome back to all the new listeners. Welcome, right? Welcome to everybody. I had to change that, time to change that little address. Listen, we start at the start, right? Because this weekend was a long weekend. It was a weekend full. I don't know if to tell you, I was out and bad like a baddie. Like I thought in these streets, I've been hitting these streets. I don't know if to tell you how old like the hills, but it was a mix between the two over the course of this weekend. This whole podcast is probably about this weekend not going here to it because it was a real, the real McCoy, a genuine old people weekend. But every part of my weekend, I leave me with a lasting memory, right? And I want to play a song for you. For all the mothers of the Corey Shepherd podcast, right? Long time I didn't play something, you know. I need a little side to play some music with. Well, if I find a band and tell them I need a quattro man and let me fall in. But I have a song to play for you. It's so amazing how this world was made. I wonder if God is a woman. The gift of life astounds me to this day. I give it up to a woman. She's the constant wind that fills my sails. Oh, that woman. With a smile and a style, she'll protect me like a child. That's a woman. She'll put a smile upon your face and take you to a higher place. So don't you underestimate the strength of a woman. And I'm telling you, right? Well, two reasons I play that song, right? Yeah, excuse all bad code. Two reasons I play that song. First, for Happy Mother's Day for all the mothers and so on. And secondly, because I don't want to get no YouTube strike. Because I really wanted to play that by Shaggy. Go and play the Shaggy version for yourself. If there's a mother that listens to this podcast and know that is me dedicated to you, but I'm frightened if I play it, that YouTube will take it out. The other reason I play this is because I went over the weekend to a show by the name of the Queen of the Road. I went and see a queen with my queens.
This is Caribbean Vibes.
I can't take this feeling.
You must believe me.
My heart is reeling.
You mustn't doubt me.
So hold me tighter. Let's dance the soca. Come dance the soca. So give me two boom 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 in the soul. The bones are all. So let me jam. Soca jam. Calypso jam. So let me jam, 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 jam. Jump together. The soca rhythm have plenty feeling.
You mustn't doubt me.
It have me waistline moving.
You feel it.
My whole body's vibrating to the soca beat, this Trinidad beat. So give me two boom boom in me soul, me and all. So let me jam, soca jam, calypso jam. So let me jam, jam, jam.
Jam together, jam one another, jam together, and then we jam. Before I jump into it, right, my review of the Queen of the Road show over the weekend, I could play one of my favorite rows for you. I know every song I play is my favorite, right? But this is one of my favorite rows, not my favorite rows to listen to. One of my favorite rows to play. When you're out there and you're playing music with man like Scratch, this is one of the favorites that we's always turn to. You know, it would be nice at some point in life that when I talk about a song, I could easily find it in front of my body. Where my eyesight working these days. Where the song? Look at here.
I feel like dancing. I feel like So keep your distance, I just want to dance.
Don't wind back and shake.
It's a nice party, don't wind up on me.
I feel like dancing.
I feel like dancing. And I'm gonna put it on. And I'm gonna put it on. Yes, from dusk till dawn. I went and see Queen of the Road. Me and the Queens went on the Queen. Well, Seymour ain't make it, but my mama and my wife, we went and see Queen of the Road, and there are plenty to talk about in the show. This show was, and I want to tell you, I almost didn't make it because I come here with the express intent to bad talk a lot of people who went in the stadium and called themselves legends the night before, and I bust on my average. But the night after, I did go and take in Queen of the Road, an excellent production, and they have, well, maybe let me start with an article about it here, right? And then I'll tell you about my experience there, right? I'm reading from, is this Loop TT? Who have it? E-Buzz TT. Always on top of the culture as well. Powerful journey, Calypso Rose fought all odds. Queen of the Road musical, a necessary reminder. Technology, social media, and the ease of life we've all become used to in this 21st century is a far cry from the odds faced and overcome by so many who had paved the way. This past weekend, Trinidad and Tobago, the delivery of Queen of the Road, delivery of the Queen of the Road musical reminded patrons of this fact and much more in its walk down memory lane, which highlighted the life and times of the incomparable Calypso Rose. Queen of the Road, written and directed by Roma Spencer. So you see that song I play in the beginning? A big part of it dedicated to Roma Spencer, Queen. Hell of a production. Was presented by Yes Productions on both Saturday and Sunday in Trinidad. It was first presented as a workshop in Canada in 2019 before premiering in Tobago in October 2023. The musical begins with Rose's acceptance of the Victoire La Musique Award and French equivalent of the Grammy. She won the award in 2017 after releasing the album Far From Home. In her production, Spencer rewinds the life of the 84-year-old, taking the audience on a whirlwind, sometimes harsh, often humor-filled, consistently thought-provoking adventure through the childhood, adolescence, and adulthood of Calypso Rose. I couldn't write that better myself. That's what it was basically, right? So the play started off, or the musical started off with her. Well, let me tell you about the journey to get there first, right? It was at Central Bank Auditorium. And Central Bank Auditorium is an intimate little vibe, right? There's much happening in Central Bank Auditorium. It's not big like Napa and Sapa and Queens Hall and these places, which I was grateful for. Because I'm going in there and I'm tired. I nearly make it. If I didn't promise people Mother's Day activities, I wasn't going. But we reached there, and I mean, they have a huge, if you know, opposite Central Bank now on, I know, look, why I started talking about street name too. On the eastern side of Central Bank, not on the promenade side, they have a big car park there now where they demolish some old buildings and they have a car park. Don't tell mommy, tell me, well, but you know, they go open the car park for you to park there, which seemed to be the obvious thing to do if you have an event in Central Bank. Well, no such luck. So people park all how on the pavement and all how on the road, and you have to take it on the road and walk back, which is not ideal, the way thing going with car and people and taking car and breaking in car and thing these days. But nonetheless, it was pretty smooth getting in. I've gotten used to using sites like Island e-tickets, where you could pretty much get tickets for any game. So we went in, we had a little program. There's a program, they were selling the program, and we are grateful for this program too, you know, because I used to laugh at my grandmother and my mother, and then when everywhere they go, they're coming back with a program. But I am now of age, where I was very happy to see the program there. So I don't have to take a set of wrong notes to come and talk to all. I have all the notes I need inside here, right? We eventually get in, we get the ticket scan, little delays with the scan tickets and thing, you know what I mean? But I didn't even know where to get physical tickets for this thing. And I mean, when once we got in, it was smooth, easy to get your seat, everything was nice, right? They start on time. I had to commend them for that. Shows in Trinidad starting to get different, man. You know, I remember coming here to talk about Explainers, what we're going to call that, tribute show after Explainer had died, and that show started a proper hour and something late. So it was nice that this show started dead on time. And while you were waiting for the show to start, we must reach there about 15-20 minutes early. There's some nice little Calypso Rose jamming in the background to get everybody used to it. But the first thing we saw on stage was really Calypso Rose coming out, accepting that award, starting her speech, and then as the author here in E-Buzz TT said, flashback, right? I want to honor a queen, the queen of this flashback. because I see a little child. When I say child, a child like Zachary, walk out on that stage and walk to the edge of that stage and take command of that audience in a way that I don't think I ever seen nothing like this before. This little child born for the stage, and I hope that enough avenues are created for her in Trinidad and Tobago or wherever she go in the world, because she is a star. This lady's name, this young queen's name, what is called a young queen, a princess? Thara Howe is a self-motivated Standard 5 student at St. Patrick's Newton Girls RC. I would like to pause there. Anytime you're in Newton, you come from good stuff, right? Thara Howe is a self-motivated Standard 5 student at St. Patrick Girls RC School who is passionate about dancing and singing. Outside of school, she is adventure-seeking with her family. Her accomplishments encompass academic and performance awards. She was crowned Senior Vintage Monarch 2024. Now, this child is 11 years old, so I don't know what is the Senior Monarch she win, right? Senior to whom? But she went Senior Vintage Monarch in 2024, which suggests to me that she know old Kaiso. When you hear Vintage Monarch, it means that she'll be singing some kind of vintage tune, right? She holds fast to God's plan for her life. Thara's personal goal is to attend Holy Name Convent in 2025 and become a professional dance instructor. Salute to you, Thara. Because the musical split up into 4 acts, right? And each one of the acts, I want to tell you, each one of the acts have about between 12 songs to 15 songs in each one of the acts. Act 4 have a little less, but the first 3 acts, you're talking about 12 songs. And the songs delivered mostly by the person playing Rose, which was Thara Howe at that point in time, man. So that little girl, this child, right? This little child come out on that stage and sing about 7 or 8 of them songs. I didn't see her stumble or fumble with no chorus, stumble or fumble with no verse. Keep in mind that with a musical, you don't only have to deliver this song, yeah? You have lines because it have talking. The first part of the interaction was really her dealing with her grandmother. And the grandmother talking to her, and I like the way they pulled the play together, because it was her grandmother talking to her by the seaside in Bethel and Tobago. Bethel or seaside? Somewhere in the seaside in Tobago, right? The grandmother's down talking to her and so on. And just talking to her about the power that she have as a child, the power that she has and what she possesses. And also the fact that the seas would bring messages to her. You know, she said plenty of our ancestors. She used to look, the grandmother said, no, looking out into the sea and telling her, listen, your ancestors here to support you. You're not alone. We have ancestors in these seas. Come to these waters when you had troubles. It's something else, you know? And they tell this story from that viewpoint to when she was taking her to a household of 7 or 8 children. I can't remember how much children that is. A lot. There's a lot. And her aunt in Trinidad who came to basically pick one of the children. A lot of these things, right, is things I don't know, right? Forgive me if I sung in if this is common knowledge and I sung in ignorant, forgive me, but I never know this is how Rose reached from Tobago to Trinidad. So I'm glad somebody documenting this, where her father, brother, and the wife was adopting one of the children from the family. Basically, you know, the family struggling with that amongst the children, and they went, and the woman basically picked Rose, played by Karen Francisco, right? Daughter of the great slinger Francisco, you know? So she was the aunt, and she come and she take Calypso Rose, back then known as Carty, back to Trinidad. And all the time, all this happening in play where she interact with the grandmother, sing about 2-3 tunes, the grandmother sing about a tune or 2 as well. And then the family, when she come and get selected, all then she's singing tune, delivering lines, doing dance. The girls are proper star. Come Trinidad now, come to school, people making fun of her and thing, and she was able to access the grandmother again, which from the way the grandmother appeared in the play, it seemed as though the grandmother passed away by that point, but she was able to access the grandmother to get some of the strength to ward off the bullies and the teasers and thing in school. And again, all this I talking about, this girl delivering song after song after song. I had to salute to her. I don't know how much rehearsal it take. And because this little child couldn't possibly have heard the original of most of them songs she's singing there. She went there and learned and delivered them spectacularly, flawlessly. I don't want to go back to no other show, but I went to a show and I see big Calypsonian and I see Monarchy. The whole and explain that. Sorry, it's a what show. have a piece of paper singing out explainer lyrics and them had to come there to sing one explainer song. Maybe it's the organizers, right? Maybe the organizers asked them to do it late and they didn't get time to learn the song. But yeah, Calypsonian, this little girl properly well rehearsed and went on. So salute to the first queen. Second queen, I want to salute Teresa Howe, who played the grandmother. Legendary performance. You could feel the spirit of the grandmother as she went through the play and guiding Cathy throughout her young years, not just as she went through the changes of having to move from Tobago with the family that she knows, to go in Trinidad with her family she didn't know at all, and to find herself a family who rooted in religion and so on and church in Tobago, to go by a family who rooted in heavy kaiso and calypso. And the grandmother helping her to fight them battles from a distance, from the same seas that she saw in the beginning. Salute to Teresa Hope. Teresa Hope had a great performance. But let me go to some other queens first, right? Alicia Jagasa. I want to tell you something about Alicia Jagasa, right? Alicia Jagasa is a legend, known as the Parang Queen. So salute to her. But I tell you, the way my eyesight poor, I watching the play. And me realize Alicia Jagasa I watching because she playing some roles where she playing a backup to Calypso Rose, right? They had 4 backup singers who legendary. Them backup singers is vibes. Every time them come out is action. And I didn't realize it's Alicia Jagasa I watching, but I'll tell you something. They had a part where them 4 backup singers was singing individual parts of a Rose song, right? And the way the person voice stand out. It's not like the other 3 they're not singing bad, they're well in key, they're well rehearsed and thing, just like my little friend from Newtown Girls. But this particular backup singer, when she sang, this whole auditorium full. It's full. And there's a big voice of Alicia Jagasa, and salute to her. She was the vocal director of the play as well. And the musician again, I want to salute a queen by the name of Michelle Henry. I know from since Tranquil Days. I know her as a saxophonist, bad musician, and she was the musical director. Particularly, I want to salute one fellow who was in that band. You see, the man who was playing, it had a fellow playing some drums, right? Some Congo drums, African drums, and things. That man, the spirit of the grandmother, when the grandmother appears and things, is something else. He bring it out to everybody in that play. But I want to zone in again on all the organizers. Salute to Rachel Collymore, a past student from mine who was very involved in the play as well. Several names and faces that I would have seen either around the creative circuit and the creative circuit as well as performing arts. But people who I just know from around who was involved in this coincidentally. But the queen I come here to salute today. You see Stacey Sobers? I remember talking about Stacey Sobers in some episodes before, right? My memory not serving me right as to whether Stacey Sobers was one of them who I saw in Explainer's show. Because I could tell you, the woman who came to pay tribute to Explainer, they mash up that show. They put some of the fellas on them to shame who was singing Explainer songs. They properly well deliver them songs. And I'm trying to remember now if Stacey Sobers was in that show. But whether she was or not, she played Calypso Rose from 17 years old until she collect that French award. What do you think named Victoire de la Musique award in France? And after my girl Thara Howe would have delivered, I want to say about 8 of them songs. Most of Act 1, right? Most of Act 1, if not coming into Act 2 as well. She come out. This is Stacey Sobers now. And I want to tell you that she must sing about 25 songs. Some of them 25 songs is 2 verse and a chorus in the song again. You know what I mean? Some of these songs she sing twice. You understand? Some of them come back and she sing them again. It was amazing, the performance that she put on. And again, I want to remind you that they're not just singing songs and leaving it. There's a musical. So after they sing song, they have to deliver lines. They have to do dances. It's a choreography. Well put together. Properly put together show. They talk about Rose from the time she reached 17 and she went Young Brigade tent. And them fellas and them fighting she down. Then want the owners of the tent. Them fellas and them ain't so interested in putting a woman on top of the game and making her a star. The reality is that they see her as a star and they realize, hey, We had to put this girl on. We don't have a choice, and they did. And then you see the men and them, the goose that was laying the golden egg at the time was the Great Sparrow. And Sparrow is the king of Young Brigade times. You can't move him, and they did well to show the interactions between Rose and Sparrow, where Sparrow went from somebody who was basically telling Rose she can't get a play, singing long in the tent. So he know Rose closing the show. Rose reached the point where he closing the show. Sparrow must have done damn vex already. So, all right, you want to close show? I go stay on the stage for about 2 hours. In the Calypso tent, you only have about a 20 minutes, half hour to deliver your song. And then, Sparrow, they say he lengthening out the performance to make sure that when people see Sparrow, they're leaving. And Rose, even though she had big songs, she performed into an empty crowd. You had like Bad Mind, you had like Bad Mind and Calypso and Kaiso and Soca and things. It ain't now starting, it ain't now it's have a mafia, So she complaining to everybody she could complain to. She migrated, again, something that I didn't know, went to Belize and get honorary citizenship, sing several songs that would be anthems in Belize. So when I heard that, I was hoping that this play would travel to places like Belize or travel to places where, if they could do things like this up the islands. And I did feel as though, to tell a story of 84 years in a 2-hour play, it's rough. So some of it, they're rushing through the things, and I feel like you're not getting the true emotion of what she would have really go through having to migrate. You could see how rough it would have been on her and her adopted mother at the point in time when she decided to leave. The father who put out the house and was vexed, she singing Calypso. I said the devil music, come back. So he can't come back around when she gained some fame. And a big part of the reason she was leaving too is because with the types of songs she was singing and the type of star she was becoming as a woman, it wasn't just Sparrow and them didn't like it. The church was behind her, society was after her for being a smutty and nasty Calypsonian and that. The headline saying that, and imagine they showing you where the church basically saying that she playing man then, you're playing in a man's world and trying to you're gallying yourself in a man world and not looking good as a woman, and the church was vehemently against her continuing to perform and continuing to be a part of Calypso and Soca music. So again, I want to salute everybody who was involved in this. It was a great show. It was a great night out. I'm glad I come out. Salute my mother is the one who told me about this, and left up to me. I wasn't going nowhere because I'm tired. Like I don't. You want to tell you I was tired too? I'm not the kind of man who could go out more than one night in a weekend, right? I need to be home. I need to be well rested. Every time I go out, I need about 6 weeks rest and recovery, right? But I was already committed to that Calypso Rose since before with Mother's Day. And then me with my fast self, I was telling you last week that I see Legends game, Legends football advertised on the TV. Wait, before I go on to the Legends, only forgive me now. Let me play one more Rose now. Only know this car. And this car come out here just so. I would like to play the song, one of the biggest songs of her career, but I feel the song that would have stole the show in that play last night. Before I move on to some of the Legends, if the thing named Queen of the Road is only fitting that we play Her Majesty, right? But the reality is that, as always, when it's time to play Her Majesty, all of a sudden I can't find Her Majesty on the list, and my eyesight is failing me once again.
They know a good tune when they hear it croon. So when I
Only forgive me now, I couldn't help it. Only forgive me now, I can't help it.
Boy, don't touch me like you're going crazy. Let go me hand.
Let me jump up in the band, cause
I don't want nobody to come and stop me. Leave me, let me free up. Myself, let me jump up. So leave me alone. I ain't going home. So leave me alone. I ain't going home. Let me party, let me party, let me party, let me Heavy music coming down Guy Street and behind me, trying to stop me. Get out of my way, leave me, let me ramage. I can't going home, so leave me alone.
I ain't going home. Only I can't help it, only I forgive me.
I could understand why a woman must have an outside man.
What?
I could understand why a woman must have an outside man. A man does want to run like rat and have his wife to abide by that.
Yes.
And every night he having a ball, and when he reach home he ain't kissing his wife at all. And if the woman says she feeling sexy, tell me where she go do. And the man say he feeling sleepy, tell me where she go do.
Yes.
And she bawling, come on, do-do. But this time he's soft like soft candle, no satisfaction. So you see a woman must have an outside man.
I don't like it. I don't like it. We can't end on that note, right? We can't end on that note.
I can't take this tension, it's too hard to mention, but the spirit too small, for the kind of bad. I know what will happen, it's this and this, it's people. so I can stop. Hey, I'm going down San Fernando, down they have plenty tempo. Had a steel orchestra jamming sweet. I'm going to join San Fernando and roll up Coffee Street. So give me more tempo.
I'm going down San Fernando, down they have plenty tempo. Had a steel orchestra jamming sweet. I'm going to join San Fernandians and roll down Coffee Street and give me more tempo. Where there was no tempo was in the Legends game in the stadium the night before. It had no tempo inside it. They tell me Legends footballer again. I want to salute Russell Latipi Foundation's Air Committee. Everybody was involved in putting on this Legends game because I saw Wired 868 write an article from Tanner's desk today. And imagine the men write an article saying they didn't realize it was thing, and when I went there, I got 6 for 9 because what kind of football? I don't know who's in Legends. This man is 99 years old. If you see Rivaldo. Rivaldo and them is a shadow of themselves. But I'm not understanding why it is Tanner really writing why did 68 today, because it was very clear what he was going there for. He was going to see old people play football. What he was going to see is, for the first time in my life, I could safely say I am better than Rivaldo. I have a better chance of scoring than Rivaldo. It was bad. So we went on in the Legends game. I tell Zachary about it. Zachary's a man who's follow football avidly. He know all these footballers. And I don't know, they're trying to just stay on YouTube and learn facts about stuff. Salute them, right? So you know all about football. So this little boy, at 11 years old, properly well know Cafu, know what year Cafu win World Cup, he know Kaka win Ballon d'Or, he know Rivaldo. So we say we went down in the game. I tell him I'll carry him and we go on. Now, I really forget what it's like to be a child, right? I'm not the greatest and most exciting father they ever had because I reached down in the football. So Jade McCasey, my little squad went with me from down home here. And I meet up with my partner Osman in the game too. And in my mind, I really going in the stadium to watch football. So I walking past, when we had to park in Movie Town first thing first, because there's a good bit of traffic. The stadium had a good bit of people too. It's not like, I saw before the game people complaining about the ticket price, right? Now let me say this, before I get into the action on the night. The price of a covered stand ticket, I think, was $450. And uncovered was $300. And I'm trying to figure out like what people would be willing to pay to see these men or what they expected to see. Because I played this way. Like I commented on Wired today saying, if they bring Rivaldo and them in a wheelchair, I was never much of a Kaka fan, right? I don't know much about Ed Milson. Cafu was one of my first exposures to Brazil winning the World Cup and that kind of thing at the time, which is heartbreaking for me. But I know Cafu and I know that team. I know Mario and Bobeto and them fellas. So to get to see them, I don't know when in my lifetime I will get to see them. I talked to my cousin Sheppy, salute Sheppy, and he was saying he paid less than that to see bigger players in the prime when he went Bernabeu and these players. He went to, is Bernabeu? He went to Real Madrid. He went to Spain to watch football. Let me just say where he went. I can't remember which one of them he went to see, whether it's Real or Atletico Stadium. I'm sure he went both. I never went them thing. I will probably never go them thing because I have a fundamental issue with supporting slave owner clubs, especially when Chelsea not doing good. If Chelsea doing good, I could support a little slave owner club and a league from the slave owners, right? But I don't know what people was upset. I mean, the price, I guess. But again, it's kind of telling a story as to don't just judge everything you see on social media as fact. Like, I had to remind myself of that because when I see the way people complaining about the game and what they bring these old washed up men for and how expensive this game is, I say the stadium will be empty. Well, it was anything but. The stadium had a good little following and a good turnout. I'll get back to that good turnout in a while, right? But reading from the Guardian here, Legends versus All-Stars score big time. Brazilian Kaka and local striker Anthony Wolf both scored hat-tricks in an entertaining 5-all draw featuring Brazilian Legends against Trinidad and Tobago All-Stars. So the game was really a combination of Trinidad and Tobago and Brazilian Legends. They had 4 Brazilian Legends, which was Kaka, Cafu, Ed Milson, and Rivaldo. And they followed the team with other Trinidad and Tobago legends, including New York and Latipi and things. For those of you, for a little nostalgia's sake, you must tell you who was in the game. Like some of them, I find they do a good job spreading it across a few generations, but apparently Tana and them find they do a terrible job. I know always take to please certain people in this country, no? But The legends was Kelvin Jack, Elijah Joseph, Jovan Jones, Kaleem Highland, Kevin Molino, Anthony Sherwood, Gary Glasgow, Kendall Velox, Earl Shaw. So Earl Shaw would be legendary status. Kelvin Jack would be legendary. I guess the argument is that Jovan Jones and Highland and them and Molino now done play. If well, Highland done. Jovan Jones and them might come back for this campaign, but Highland finish. I don't know. Highland like he eat that. This current legend, Highland like he eat the young silver. I don't get big. I never seen nothing like that in my life. Until Alcock, Kern Cupid. Then you have Cafu Kaka, Ronaldo Edmilson, York, Latapi, Carlos Edwards, and Kenwin Jones. I want to tell you that the only person who looked like himself in that whole stadium is Kenwin Jones. Cause I never see a man throw when he old, throw when he young. It's no difference. Clean open goal and hit the clock up in his stands. And then he had a long list of all-stars as well, including people like Dorica, Cornell Glenn, man, who people glad to see. Anthony Wolf was there. Anthony Wolf, I just want to say that Anthony Wolf's a little younger than me, right? From what I could gather. Colin Samuel might be a little younger than me too. Sid Gray was over there. Nice to see Sid Gray. Sid Gray was one of the 2006 men. Hudson Charles, if people can remember. You all remember Hudson Charles and what Hudson Charles means to Trinidad and Tobago football, 1989 kind of thing. You know what I mean? Playing against USA. Clint Marcel, Clayton Ince. So a lot of the names, Marvin Foston was in this game. Leonson Lewis was in this game. So I don't know what there is to complain about. I mean, if the price too high, I suppose if you can't pay the price, you can't pay the price. But it certainly was not reflected in the demand that was there for the stadium last night. The stadium was packed. I had to park over in Movie Town, walk across. When I say I don't know what it's like to be a child. What I mean is, like, I walk through the gate, walk past all the activities, and Zachary's like, Daddy, look at how much things to do. And I'm thinking, we need to go and give a seat. But we went on like, you could have gone in a B-mobile thing, kick a ball and do something. Coca-Cola had a boot, salute to Coca-Cola. You could have do cornhole thing to win something. You kick a ball through some holes in like a kind of net something. You win some things. They even had a little netball tic-tac-toe game. I think Subway was the one who did that. And what you're doing is you're playing against somebody and you're shooting into a little basket. And if you make a tic-tac-toe, well, Zachary make one and the woman make all three and make tic-tac. I say, but wait, you still man practice or it turns out she's a netballer. So people come out, people partake in the activities and things. I'm trying to figure out what it had to complain about. You know, it was a good, when I see them promotional things, that's always, I just see work, you know. So I want to blow past them thing and go and sit down. But when we did go in, they give us a good game. Of course, Anthony Wolf is 20 years old. He scored a hat-trick early. I believe he scored went in half-time, or they played 3-3. It's a real fat match. I want to tell you, Rivaldo, who I wanted to see the most because of the brilliance of Rivaldo, I want to tell you, he didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing. Within 5 minutes of the game, I started to get a strong scent of Bengay, Cataflam, Olfen coming through and pause a coxier. As this place started to smell like clove, brandy, Flammer, Midocam, Radiant B. The place started to reek of them things. And I want to tell all you, it wasn't just the players on the field because the people in the stands, good, properly old too, all like myself. So all I keep thinking after the second third is time to come out in here. Why this game going on so late? I had to go to work in the morning. All I said is this is a lot. There's a lot. Salute to Stefan and the partner Oscar. After the first third, them men saying nah, there's enough for them. There's them young, them go on their way. Them person going to Lime otherwise. But in very, very small glimpses, you saw the brilliance of Latapi was set up one of the final goals to Molino. Cafu scored a great goal. Cafu put I believe is the keeper was named John Michael. Is it John Michael? Whoever was the keeper, Cafu put a keeper to lie down there. It was very, very impressive. Cafu look good. The thing about Cafu too as a Brazilian captain is that he liked the people part of it. You could see he take more to the people thing than all the rest of players. When he score a goal, he run to the covered stands, all them churn and them storm the track. It's something else to see that little children who couldn't be nowhere near his era, rushing to take pictures with him and rushing to hug him up and stuff. It's to show you how these youths now so much brighter than us because of social media and YouTube and these things. They know everything about everything. And regardless of what era you're from, they identifying with you because, you know, it was something else to see. And of course, at the end of the game, if you came to see good football, I think you was in the wrong place. If you come for a nice lime and some good nostalgia and to see some legends, I think you was in the right place. And they did a great job with that. I hope that between the Russell Atterbury Foundation, Air Committee, whoever else involved in doing this, I hope they do more things like this. I'm sorry I didn't get to see, what the old jailbird name? Ronaldinho or Fat Ronaldo. It would be nice to see some players like that, you know what I mean? Imagine they bring Batistuta. If they bring players from different countries or different regions, and I'm not sure how expensive it is to do this, but at 300, 450 again, that's out to me every single time. Ain't nothing like that. And then after the game, they came and walked around the track. I mean, Rivaldo couldn't get all the way around the track. There was so much people swarming him, throwing jerseys for him to sign. I just want to shout out Rhett, right? That's a man I used to play football with named Rhett. Rhett, I know Rhett and Camby. I call man my name. Rhett and Camby and these fellas is real sneakers men, right? If you want a link for a brand new pair of sneakers or a hard to get pair of sneakers, them is good men to link up with because them just go in every sneaker lottery and thing, and they have a site too, you know. Camby have a site. Well, Instagram page, she's do call something kicks. My memory is not great, but them fellas and them is link for sneakers. But I want to tell you that in the midst of seeing Rivaldo walking around the track, I used to see Rhett. What's Rhett's name, brother? I see Rhett walking with Rivaldo and have about 35 Barcelona jersey. Rhett is a scammer. Rhett, this is informal business. This going on. Rhett is a scammer. I give how much a jersey I see Rhett gain Rivaldo. How Rhett know Rivaldo to reach on track walking around with Rivaldo and thing I don't know. But if you want a signed Rivaldo shirt, maybe check Rhett. Give me a link and I will give you a Rhett number and you could go and check the Rivaldo shirt. But to me, the Legends game was good. It was worth it. I appreciate it. I feel good being there. At one point when it's time to go now, I tell Osman, I see you ready to make a move? He say yeah. And we start to walk out. And then I saw the guys walking around the track and all the little children go down. And I say, Zachary, you want to go down and see if you could see Kaka and them close up? He's like, yeah. I really forget what it's like to be a child and them things. So me and Osman now had to go back, salute to Osman. He stay with man, wait. We just stay by the track in the covered stands, they're waiting for them to reach all the way around. And he was so glad to get a glimpse, a wave. You know, a child is a special thing. You know, you had to enjoy your childhood and get a chance to see a legend. So I'm hoping that there's more of that. Fast forward from Sunday, I'm going to Saturday, Mother's Day, I take it light, you know what I mean? Thanks God. Let me tell you something. Thank God for Stacey because she had to pressure me because my system couldn't take it again when Mother's Day. I couldn't do nothing else. I tired with the people. I tired with the out. I want to be home. I just sleep all day, which I did. But then Monday night, now I'm going to my fast self because, again, I tell you all the time, once Trinidad and Tobago is playing football, I want to be there. And this week, we had 2 games. Well, we have 2 games this week. 2 friendlies against Guyana, coached by the great Jamal Shabazz, remember him? And as a precursor or warm-up to what is World Cup qualifiers coming up in June, right? So when I see these 2 games, a part of me say, you know, I want to go and take in a little football in the stadium, but the old age and the Bengue and thing affected me. So me and I going out Friday, I going out Saturday, Monday night, I'm back on the road, but I make a bad joke with Zachary after he come from school. I was like, Zachary, it's our football in the stadium. He's like, I come in. I'm going to bathe now. I was like, oh, Lord. So now I can't disappoint him. So we went in the stadium and I saw Trinidad and Tobago win 2-1 against Guyana. We taking any wins, right? But the team, it looked a little scrappy. It didn't look so good. They have a man by the name of Showtime, right? Kevin Woodley, who they calling for. I only see him in the comments, right? When you look at football comments, they're talking about why he can't get a call up and why he can't play and why they can't bring him. And he known as a beach footballer. He make his name as a beach footballer. And and in the Pro League as well. Let me don't limit him to just saying he's a beach footballer, right? He's known in the Pro League as well as Showtime, and he's a goal scorer. You have a age, he's about my age, you know what I mean? He's about 50. But he did score in his stadium on debut. I'm very, very glad to see that. He didn't look so great in his second half. Like, you know what I mean? He was a little in my age, you know what I mean? He was a little roast in his second half. But it was a tale of 2 halves of Trinidad team because we were so dominant against Guyana in the first half. When the second half started, we make a ridiculous mistake in the first couple of minutes of the second half and get them a goal back. And then all of a sudden we under big pressure from Guyana. It looked like Trinidad team. Once you play physical with them, we have a little bit of a problem. I'm hoping that I will probably go back in his stadium Wednesday night as well. Just to give support, and I like to see they have a youth named Wuling. Wuling had a great game. I hope he in that central midfield he could be a difference maker, but we had to get to the point where we're playing a little more physically, boy, a little more aggressively and so on, because we not I don't think we look in the part. And while playing like that, we go still beat Guyana and probably beat Grenada, although Guyana give you a run for the money. I don't think the Guatemalas and Panamas of this world and Jamaicas of this world are going to have any problems beating us very badly if we're showing up there playing like that. In the first half, yes, we could stay with them teams if we play the way we play. I ain't saying beat them neither. We could stay with them and we could compete in the way we play in the first half. But the second half, I think it was poor. Angus must have plenty to say about that. So I'll go back Wednesday and I'll tell all you, maybe I'll reach out to Rhett and get a little Barcelona jersey to come out in at that point in time. On to the news of the week, and I'm going to run through news stories fast here. Let me see where it's line up here. I want to talk about something that I've seen becoming more and more popular over time here, right? And it's something that article that I saw about tiny houses some time ago. And well, coincidentally, I hear Stacey talking about the whole tiny house thing, and she's like, "This tiny house, they have a tiny house explosion." And I was like, I don't know if it's an explosion. I don't know if you looking at tiny house, so more tiny house ads coming up to you. You know them algorithms work. But the article is from Vishana Pagu, said tiny spaces TNT addresses the housing real estate crisis one at a time. I didn't realize we had a real estate crisis, but let's find out about it. What if you could get a house for the same price as a vehicle? The team at Tiny Spaces TNT is creating home or office spaces using prefab containers that could range from 50,000 to 185,000. Tiny Spaces was created by Andre Figaro last year in response to the needs of the people in Trinidad and Tobago. Express Business recently spoke with two of Figaro's managers at the company's model home on the corner of Ryson Road and Duke Street, Port of Spain, who provided insights into the business operations. The managers also showcased their Rangwes warehouse where assembly of the units is done. There were a few finished units with one currently being worked on. Almost all units, unless requested otherwise, come with a bathroom and a shower, which are set up by Tiny Spaces TT. Rennie Ningfong, Tiny Spaces TNT manager, said they always recommend that customers customize the space and the spaces to their needs and liking. We allow customers to really and truly see the unit to get their vision, and we try to bring their vision to life, basically, said Ningfong. In terms of the cost, the model home in Port of Spain costs $165,000, which is the largest owned by Tiny Spaces and Tiny Spaces TNT at the moment. However, we are able to join units together. In that sense, you're able to add as many 20-foot containers to create an even larger container setting than what we are sitting in. The containers are joined with the help of a contractor who, according to Ningfong, seeks the customer's vision to bring it to life. When asked about the time frame of putting these containers together for people to start living in, she said it really takes about a week to 2 weeks for us to manufacture it. So when the containers come in, for us to really build the units, it takes about 2 weeks. And if the customer has any customizations, then it can possibly go up to 3 weeks. It depends on what the customer is requesting from us. So I just find this was interesting, and I'm eager to see how, if this is a trend that picks up more. Now, granted, you're going to have your own land, which is I mean, the ability to purchase real estate in this country, I mean, the price of real estate, depending on the area you're looking at, could really feel intimidating. Like, sometimes I wonder, okay, when Zachary and them reach 20-something years old, will they be able to buy property in this country? Because I remember being extremely frustrated. The first time I tell myself I want to buy a house, and you want to move out and you want to live, you want to become your own man, you're looking at house price and them kind of thing, it felt impossible to me, because when I see them days $1 million for a house, and I look at my salary, must be $4,000. I can't see how you're getting from one point to the next. And then when you find out how to buy $1 million house, what kind of legal fees and how much for valuation, the whole thing just seemed completely impossible to me at the time. And it seemed as though the only hope you would have at that age and at that stage in your life is you had to get the HDC. You had to win a lottery with the HDC, or win a lotto where you could buy any house you want, right? So it felt demotivating and depressing. It feel like, wait now, you would never be able to see that. You know, you study hard and do all the things you think people say you should do, and then you will never see your way in life. You will never have a house. So I think that this is and this is something that has been not just in Trinidad and Tobago, but all over the world. You're seeing the rise of this, not just container homes, but the tiny home thing, where you have the chance to own your own house. You don't need no whole set of land, like 5,000 square feet of land to get a place. Also, when you now start, if you don't really need no set of house neither before you have husband and wife and child and a whole lot of things like that. So I hope that more is said about these folks in terms of how many people buying into it, and if possibly, when you look at HDC and all the issues you have in HDC communities, from contractor issues to people building on fault line and whole thing had to get abandoned and building cracking and falling apart and those types of things. I wonder if this could be a solution, or a company who could align with HDC to ensure that a specific type of HDC applicant could get this kind of house, because it isn't just cheaper than building a HDC house. It's also much faster. This woman talking about 2-3 weeks. She said if you want to customize it, it could be 4 weeks. When you had to build a house here, you know how long it take me to build my house? Was it 2 years? So when you look at that for a first-time homeowner, especially a very young homeowner, I feel like it could be a very positive thing if the government can help with land. So because one of the issues with HDC is that it feels like if every single applicant goes into a big pool and we all just line up and hope to get a house, right? I know that everybody can't get a house, and everybody certainly can't get a house at the same time. But I always feel like if you take HDC applicants and put them in some different groupings, so you have to take into consideration people who have any disability, different ability, or varying ability, and help them, right? So if that's one bucket of people who need help with houses, right? Another bucket of people who I believe need help with houses is people like who in the defense force and the police and the air guard and those people who need a house and they have to be taken care of. So that could be one bucket of applicants. Another bucket of applicants could be general public servants who are not in any defense force or that type of thing. But I feel like if there's an opportunity to put a set of applicants that are young, upwardly mobile adults, I could use humor thing. Young, upwardly mobile adults, like people who now coming out of school, you could even specify, like people who coming out of school earning a certain income or went to university, do a first degree. We had to change the prospects of young people in this country. The youths need to have real hope and real vision and feel like they could be successful in this country, particularly youths who are already on the right path, who want to work, want to study, want to invest in themselves, want to be entrepreneurs. Those are people you have to encourage. You can't leave it. We can't continue to live in a state where that youth feeling discouraged. And now if you're from a certain area and you have certain influences and you have a little brain, you could end up using that brain for different things if you realize life got frustrated and nobody there to help you, right? Additionally, you have another sector of them youths now who think hard, I'm going away and I'm going to do something else and I'm going to, we could stem the tide of that and make youths more valuable contributors to society and allow society to contribute to them by using things like this. Because from what I saw, the images of the tiny homes thing, right? They're very modern. This is the kind of thing that young people will like. Young people, when I say young, 20, let me get 25 as the age, right? You're not yet, for the most part, interested in married and settled down and make a whole bag of children and them kind of thing. You're living by yourself. And you have plenty of visitors who just spend night and, long-term boyfriend and girlfriend and them kind of thing. And they would be willing to give up a lot of the space, like the 2 and 3 bedroom and the this and the that, where half the time, half the space in your house up in your roof, you can't even access it anyway, the way they build these houses. they would be willing to give up a lot of that to live in a modern, very nice household with a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, or something like that, where you could feel proud and you leave your mother house, you could entertain friends every now and again, but you're living in a nice space. I see it all the time when you go to Airbnbs and places like Miami and so on in big cities. These condos, or I'll give you an example, right? I went and see some condos in Claxton Bay at time, and I was now looking for a house. And the whole condo is 3 bedroom and 3 bathroom, but it's 1,100 square feet. These things were real small, you know. If you had take the living room and kitchen and thing is one little corridor, them thing like a container anyway. And when the other day and see some apartments in Santa Cruz and them thing too, at my age, they're nice, they're very, very nice, and you'll feel good living there and thing. But boy, when 3-4 you move in there, you have dog and all these kind of things. Damn, boy, listen, you'll start getting frustrated being on top of each other. But imagine for some of y'all are big children graduating and then now coming out and think, imagine at 24, 25, your daughter could have a home of her own, a 1 bedroom, a little 2 bedroom place. It container, it modern, the air condition, everything looking nice, and they use that as they start life. I just feel like it changes the prospect of that youth. Because that tiny container home is not for everybody, but I just feel like that is a segment that they could go after and do well. And I hope they continue, Miss Ning. What's your name, Ning? And I hope I pronounce it right too. How you pronounce NG? It had to be Ning, right? I'm not a young man. I'm not a very smart man at that point in time. Well, what else do we have here? I saw Netflix and them the discussion, and salute to Maurice Burke of Sliced Bread is somebody who was discussing this for quite some time now. And it's not something that I would pay a lot of mind to be honest, because I'm a man of conveniences. Once I have conveniences and they're working for me, I could get insulated real fast into why this is a great idea and why it works. But the issue of .coms and internet companies using or attracting our dollars, right? Attracting our eyeballs, attracting our dollars, attracting our investment, and so on. It's something I spoke about here in terms of buying things on Amazon and bringing in rather than buying locally, and how you could get the things much cheaper, even at the 7% additional price and the duties and taxes and everything. It's still getting cheaper when it reaches here. Now, a lot of people argue, and I agree, that buying local, if we find ways to keep more of our money in the domestic economy, it could help us maintain a certain price level, reduce inflation, increase small business. There's several benefits to that, right? And that now comes down to some kind of education and personal choice and adjustment of tastes and preferences, which takes time, right? Where we could keep more of our dollar here, let our dollar circulate in Trinidad and Tobago for longer. But when I look at this headline in The Guardian that says Netflix popularity comes at a cost, and I heard more and more the cable companies here are talking about this, and the reality is that these global entertainment providers like Netflix and Disney and HBO Max and all of them, they don't pay any tax in this country, but they take away good little earnings from this country, and it's against the backdrop of the foreign exchange issues we already have as a country. It leads to some concern. When I saw people talking about it and reading into it a little more, it does lead to a little concern. I'll admit that the first time I saw cable companies complain about this, my first thought was that was like how Francis Fashions was telling us, don't shop in the Amazon jungle. It sounded like local companies again wanting to ensure that they do great via what you call protectionism, right? Stop foreign things from coming in the country so that we could earn. That typically does not work very well in the long run, and it usually leads to companies. It sounds good in theory, right? If I force people not to buy nothing from abroad and they only buy local, as I said, there are several benefits. The drawbacks tend to be that companies tend to behave like companies, and when you create a monopoly, so I create a situation where you cannot bring in foreign goods and services, local service providers and local manufacturers tend to get more inefficient because what they tend to do is pass on any inkling of a cost increase to the consumer in toto, sometimes toto plus, right? Meaning, what they will do is rather than get their thing efficient, downsize if they need to, cut out excessive management and bloated management structures, or bloated middle management or staffing structures and so on. And they tend not to do that. What they tend to do is just raise price because we don't have an option. I worked in TSCT for a long time, and I see TSCT suffer from this, became a very, very big company and very, very bloated. And then when time to compete with outsiders, they could not compete. And it shows now that when they open up the market, TSTT suffered. They can't compete. And so when I heard businesses complaining about this first, I say, boy, this is local companies again wanting the government to stop anybody from bringing in anything foreign under the guise that foreign companies, But what they really want to do is close the markets in and create monopolies for themselves. And when they create a monopoly, they could just charge more and more and more for the service, and you have to adjust and pay, because if you want it, this is the only place you could get. So, let me go to The Guardian. Peter Christopher, Netflix's popularity comes at a cost. TNT is still very much into Netflix and chill. Well, very much into the chill part. However, the popular streaming platform's popularity is silently a significant extractor of local foreign exchange, with TNT subscribers spending millions of US dollars annually to maintain their accounts. Local telecoms expert Kwesi Prescott said no one but Netflix and its shareholders know how many households in TNT subscribe to the streaming service, which reported on Thursday that 269.6 million subscriptions worldwide at the end of March. But Prescott, a telecommunications consultant, said a conservative estimate of the number of TNT households subscribing to Netflix could easily exceed 200,000. Given broadband penetration is 94%, according to the Telecommunications Authority, and conservatively estimates, assuming that 50% on Netflix subscribers, that means the number of subscribers could be 200,000 based on 410,000 households, said Prescott. Notably, Jamaican subscription number was said to be 150,000 in 2022. I want to add to this that Netflix, you only notice Netflix clamped down on the password sharing thing. I used to have my account. I could say that. I could have my account. Mother, she good in Netflix thing, you know. But now you had to create my own account to put. And if it's not in your household, it seems as though you had to put your own account. They also started off where Netflix was this big thing where you could see all movies, but slowly but surely, some of the bigger content providers like I believe Paramount, Disney, pull all their content from Netflix, and now they have their own streaming service, which you have to pay for separately. So rather than, and I want to say that we as consumers was complaining, we was real happy for streaming at the time, because we was fed up paying this big cable bill for a set of shows that firstly people were looking at as just repeats. Like you see, you know, a set of repeat shows is nothing new showing at all, and you look at cable, you can't find nothing to watch. And also, you remember the other day when some cable providers were found to be themselves thieving HBO and charging me for it? They had like Trinidad. Them not paying the subscription fees, so they making sure that they make good money and they charge you. You could go ahead and pay. Them ain't paying. But the fact that these companies, and this is not a local problem or a domestic problem either. It's to find a lot of companies, a lot of countries discussing this now, where a foreigner, typically if a foreigner doing business in Trinidad, they still have some taxes to pay, so that some portion of your profitability goes back into the pockets of the PNM and UNC. I mean, in terms, it goes back into the coffers to be able to better the lives of everybody across Trinidad and Tobago. So I think it's more of a concern, certainly, than I would have anticipated at the time or thought truthfully. And I'm a little bit more concerned about it now. And the what to do about it is the thing. The what to do about it in our country might well be switch back to the Fire Stick thing and stream your movies, or do the illegal thing so that we're not paying all this sort of money that's going out. Because busy, they start off at 12 US a month, and then they go on 13, then they go on 14. Me know how much it reach now if it's 20 something. They're constantly increasing their prices. and the service itself so sticky that I don't know that I could have a conversation home and tell my wife, well, all right, no more Netflix. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna fire stick it out or go back to cable TV and watch thing like House Hunters and all them sort of thing again. I don't know if we could go back to that. So it's another interesting thing that we had to continue to watch, because as US continues to leave the economy, and we have very little prospects for industries that will bring US back in. It's not like if we have 25, 30 different Queen of the Road productions that we could sell to companies like Netflix to start earning Forex for ourselves. The oil and gas, and they're looking so 100%. You know what I mean? We the football, we struggling to beat Guyana. I'm not seeing where our industry is coming from that going to replace the oil and gas revenues that came in the US. So I think we had to be judicious about how we spend the US as a society. So whether it is campaigns to ask us, and I'm talking to myself a little bit here, to shop more locally or partake more in domestic products and services. And if we have 200,000 people just conservatively estimated to be paying out to Netflix, being the only streaming service that they analyze in this article, so people would be paying for others as well. I think it's something for concern. But people seem to be more concerned about Digicel, talking about cable companies, right? Digicel have a new CEO. And to my surprise, before you could hear much about who the man is and the qualifications and what bring him here, people was very concerned that he had too much of tattoo. He said, I like tattoos. Digicel, this is from Loop News, right? I like tattoos. Digicel Group CEO on viral introductory video. Diversity, equity, and inclusion matter to new CEO. Newly appointed Chief Executive Officer of Digicel Group, Marcelo Cataldo, embraces diversity, equity, and inclusion. And if you've seen his introductory photo, you'll know he walks the walk. Last month, social media platforms lit up when Cataldo's photo, which accompanied the official announcement of him as new group CEO for Digicel, hit the internet. In the picture, he's seated in his library wearing a red t-shirt and jeans on full display, his tattoo-covered arm. Fun fact too, his daughter took the photo. In Jamaica and possibly the wider Caribbean, company CEOs often opt for a corporate dress code when being introduced to their staff and the wider public, but not Cataldo. The question of the inspiration behind the photo was put to the Digicel Group CEO during a company town hall meeting last Thursday by head of communication and corporate affairs, Elon Parkinson. Well, I would say diversity, equity, and inclusion is really a thing that matters, said the 52-year-old Paraguayan native. You know, you can be dressed in whatever you like. The color of your hair, the piercings, the tattoos, you know, your sexual orientation, your religion, that's a part of you, right? And we need to appreciate that and respect that, added Cataldo. He said generally there's a culture in the company where persons are aligned towards the business people. He continued, we come together as a company, and there's still a culture in the company for us to be aligned towards the business purpose. But you are you, so I like tattoos. Pointing at his tattooed arm, he disclosed that he has some phrases. All right, so let me tell you what the tattoos is about and so on. The greater conversation or the wider conversation I want to have here is the business discussion around diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? Coming hot off these heels of sustainability. That whole DEI movement is becoming an important part of the corporate world, right? The idea behind diversity, equity, and inclusion really comes from it's a layered thing, right? Even going back to the States when you had things like affirmative action and so on, it was, if you ask me, a big part of this movement come out from the fact that all white men had run everything at a point in time, right? And everybody who wanted to be somebody either had to be an old white man or learn to talk like an old white man or dress like an old white man or act like an old white man. And if you didn't know how to do them things, you could not reach past a certain level in this society. So I feel like in Trinidad and Tobago, we still heavily judged by the way we dress. And there's this expectation that if you wear a suit and a tie, you have some edge or some kind of whatever it might be. I flashing back way back, right? Which is not relevant today. But remember in Yetming wearing a Nero neck jersey to Parliament. Although Yetming wore poppy foot or anything, Yetming was good miserable. But when Yetming wear that, I remember that being a big issue in the news and the media because it was seen, and he had to explain to people that this is Chinese formal wear from where his ancestors come from. And going back to more recent past where we'd have seen the king of the Ashanti tribe or the royalty of Ashanti come to Trinidad and enter government buildings in wear that we could not wear to go government buildings until February of this year. I think is when we were able to start to dress how we want to go into government buildings. So I feel like if the movement where DEI concerned is places where we as a region supposed to be able to shine compared to the States. I always argue that the fact that the rest of the world take lead on marijuana before the Caribbean is a damn shame. The amount of weed, I think per capita, we go through more weed in this country and in the countries of this region, particularly places like Jamaica. It's a staple, is religion, is pastime, is we are accustomed to it, and we let these white folks and them go and take that. It's amazing. And they move much faster than us. And I feel like if, in terms of diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is a catch-all statement to say, respect people for who they are, like my boy who I eat tattoos and thing in Digicel, and understand the cultures of other people, understand the issues that people have gone through, and just accept people for who they are, where they are, when they are, and so on, rather than judging too much based on if I qualified for the job, I qualified for the job. I've for the last must be 10 years, I wear polo and jeans every day to go to work, and everywhere I go, you go and see me in a polo or t-shirt and jeans. I can't do the shirt and pants thing, and I have to find thing to iron and thing. I remember reading a long time ago where Steve Jobs was wearing the same black turtleneck and Levi jeans and New Balance sneakers because he say he suffer from decision fatigue. He say he don't want to get up every morning to try to figure out what to wear every single morning. And little by little, I starting to get more and more. I mean, you can see it behind me. I get more and more like that every day. I don't know that I ain't reached a point where I could do the same exact jersey and jeans on. Like, he had plenty of them same turtlenecks and jeans and sneakers. I ain't reached there yet, but close. Because whichever is the polo in front or on top, if it's in front on the hanger or it's on top, that is what I'm wearing on the. I can't spend much time getting up on a morning to figure out what to wear and to iron this and match this with that and put on this tie. And I feel like we're also in an environment where some of them things could be very, very uncomfortable. And again, more reason why we could lead the charge on this. Again, it's not just about how you dress, right? It's about your background, your religion, who you are. And I feel like we already live like that. Trinidad and Tobago is a place where nobody should not have come here from Nicaragua or whichever my boy come from, or whatever corporate training you're going on. Nobody should never have to come here to try to explain to us what is no diversity and equity and inclusion. We don't know what that is already. I find we live in that every single day, and it would be a shame for us to, rather than taking the lead on it and teaching people about it, basically sitting back and let the world bring this thing back to us. I don't like things like that. Like, I look at this whole movement about eating whole foods, right? You go on TikTok or Instagram and you put, or you look for any diet, people will tell you eat things as close to real as possible, real food, no processed food, eat from a tree, eat something that breeding or growing or, and I feel like that's how we live our whole life. Like, we stray away from that towards eating packaged foods for somebody to come and sell we back the idea of whole foods now. We have people selling we going in the grocery and paying top dollar and buy peppercorns and these people for free range egg. When we grow up eating common fowl egg, like, if you know what I mean. we this whole organic movement, all fruits was organic. You know what I mean? When we eat banana, we get spotty banana. If you eat them banana, especially when you buy banana from Massey, that must be the most organic it have. Because from the time you buy a banana from Massey, eat it one time. I know what's going on all in Massey there. But you know what I mean is, we grow up on organic foods and grow up on whole foods and stuff, and it's almost like we stray away from it, and now we getting consultant to come and tell we how to behave and how to eat and those types of things. And the same with diversity and equity and inclusion. Go back to my episodes the weekend after Easter and what I was talking about there, and you'll understand what I mean when I say we paying for things we invent. We hiring people to teach you what we don't know is a strange phenomenon in this country. You know what I mean? But talking about teachers, I saw a very interesting headline that I would like to just run through here quick, you know what I mean? Fast, you know what I mean? Teacher lured and robbed after meeting man on a gay dating site, you know what I mean? So if we're talking DEI, let me talk DEI, what happened? So we can't, I mean, come on. Teacher lured, robbed after meeting man on gay dating site. I mean, when you read this, I mean, the crime situation in this country bad. Now you gonna take a man who come to take a man. What the hell is going on? A school teacher was robbed in his car, cash and cell phones on Sunday after being lured to East Port of Spain by a man. Teacher, show me everything, I won't forget you. Teacher, how you go down East Port of Spain? This is the only place you're gonna find to meet a man. Anyway, a school teacher was robbed of his car, cash, and cell phone on Sunday after being lured to East Port of Spain by a man he met on the gay Grindr dating app. Who a Grindr? All your Grindr on your phone? Check your man phone and see if you are Grindr. I gave you permission. This is a show for queens, right? So there's all kind of queen we're talking about today. Right? A similar incident involving an American citizen occurred last year, also in East Port of Spain. Police said that around 3:30, the 41-year-old victim from Chaguanas parked his Toyota Fielder wagon near the police administration building on Edward Street, Port of Spain. You park near a police station, right? He left his wallet, $200, and a First Citizens bank card in the locked vehicle. He then made his way to Prince Street, Port of Spain, where he met the man he found on the app near Pagu's bar. The man and the suspect then walked to the George Street Plannings. You wanted this thing bad. You willing to, let us say, risk it for the biscuit? Is teacher you're talking about. The man and the suspect walk into the George Street Plan. I want to tell you something before I go any further here, right? As a testy man myself, I've done some crazy things. I've gone some places I should have never been. Why was I there? Like, when I look back at that now, I just thank God I get through some of them things. So I meet women all about it. Well, let me say woman girls, you know what I mean? When you're young, you're 20-something years old, you're young, you're living. And I would just like to say that if I meet you, you could be how nice. You could be how nice. I'm not going in George Street Plannings. I went in some plannings in my time, yeah, but I no tongue. If I go in plannings and think you're gonna catch me in the East, they catch me in La Hocketa a few times, they catch me in Maloney a couple times and think because I don't know the East. So when you say Maloney and La Hocketa, I don't really too know his plannings are going to a grub shelter, you know. But George Street Plannings, I don't know. I feel like, and them days I no money. I can't go in a hotel. There's no double palm back then. So unfortunately, it's my mother's house. You know what I mean? I'll carry her home. Better than George Street Plannings. The man and his suspect then walk into George Street Plannings where the teacher was approached by 6 men. He must get so excited. He must get moist. He must say 6 for the price of what? 6 to 1 is murder. One of them drew a gun, he must get moist. That way give me confidence. One of them drew a gun, and one of the man dealt him several blows around his body. I must die no grinder. Anybody a grinder? This song like a good time. This song like the kind of... One of them drew a gun, with which the man was dealt several blows about his body. The 6 then robbed him of his car keys and Samsung cell phone. You see, I should buy iPhone or a grinder. Samsung cell phone, and then told him to leave. I think Samsung is come with grinder on it. Check for the grinder. The man then went back to Edward Street, but his car was not there. I want to remind you that it's outside the police station. He leave the car. He called the FCB's call center and was told that 6,000 had been withdrawn. I want to know why it has happened with the grinder, the gun, and the 6 man and the moistness. Did you give them your pin? How they get 6,000? How they get 6,000 out of their account? He then made a report to the Bessel Street Police Station on October 3rd last year. A 25-year-old from Queens, New York, told police at about 7:30 p.m. that he went to Upper Nelson Street. Up on Nelson Street, Port of Spain, where he met the individual he had been talking to for a couple of days. He and the man went and walked a short distance, but the American was then confronted by a group of 5 men. He gets short change. You only get 5, man. It's 6-1 yourself is Yankee dollars you're spending. The announcer hold up and proceeded to beat the victim about the body. More blows, demanding that he hand over all his valuables. These include the iPhone 13. All right, it don't matter what you have, whether you have Samsung, whether you have Samsung or iPhone, you're susceptible. 300 US and a bag that contains US credit and debit card as well as the keys to his rental vehicle. They're taking car. I find there's a lot. So I just want to encourage, in the spirit of diversity, equity, and inclusion, I would like to encourage all who are so inclined to be very, very mindful to not go if you want to take a man trying not to get taken. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They have several. They have double pants all over. Meet in common locations. Like when you're gonna sell something on Facebook Market, they tell you, meet by the police station. Maybe do these things. Stop going and plannings and tongue. And I want to talk to the bandit and them too. All too wicked, because you don't have no kind of diversity, equity, or inclusion in here. All you're not about our life. All you just going and grinding and posing. Because all you fully well know, them 2 men who get robbed there might be the only 2 men who went to tell this story, because them decide they're going to tell police something, but all you fully well know you're robbing plenty people. And the problem is that when you're married and you have a life outside of that and you just do your little grind on Nelson Street and George Street and thing, you cannot tell the police. All you wicked bad, all it mustn't be so. All it mustn't be so in this life. Last but not least, before I go, right, I just saw this article today, and because I had spoken about this before, I want to revisit it real quick. I saw, again, for people who like to say when prices go up, they never come back down, people only carry up the price, and I saw the Flower Association of Trinidad and Tobago, what they call them, FAST. Reading from the Express here, will the price of doubles drop? Vendor on reduced flower prices. So, it was announced that flower prices once again went down. This is not the first time they reduced, but it was announced. So, of course, the question would be the things that using flour as an input, will they drop? Despite a decline in the price of various flour products, one of the nation's leading doubles vendors said that consumers should not anticipate a decrease in the price of doubles. On Friday, Nutrimix Flour announced a reduction in the price of its flour products by as much as 17% effective immediately. Effective immediately, we have reduced the price of our Country Pride and Nutrimix premium grade 2 kg and 10 kg range of flour. Our Country Pride 2 kg and 10 kg Baker's flour are now reduced by 17%, 2 kg all-purpose by 8%, and 10 Wherever there are fluctuation in flour prices, Trinidad and Tobago inevitably ponder one burning question. How will this affect their beloved breakfast staple? But according to Kelly Richards of the original Source Hot Doubles, I saw an article too where they shoot behind Source. This shooting at doubles meant signs to become a trend. Makes me wonder. Consumers shouldn't anticipate any price changes for doubles. And this is because several other costs involved in creating doubles have increased, but the vendors chose not to pass these increases on to consumers. With the price of flour dropping, we'll just stick to the price that we have right now. Reason being is because it is not flour alone to make doubles. The price of chana raised, garlic raised, dal raised, everything raised, you know what I mean? And we did not raise the price of doubles. All of the market staff raised, but doubles is still $6. Garlic is now scarce. We're literally paying $400 a bag of garlic when it used to be $120 or what's your name? Lisa? What's your name? Kelly? How much garlic is paying at doubles? Out of that $400. Out of that $400 bag of garlic, break it down for me how much exactly going into doubles. Now, let me know what percentage of garlic is doubles so that I could see what is your inputs. If you're selling doubles for $6 and it costing you $4 to make a doubles, give me a breakdown of the $4 now. Let me hear what it costed. Let me save all of this, right? Because I was very happy with Joel Julian, the author of this article, who included here a line that says on January 1st, the national minimum wage of Trinidad and Tobago increased from $17.50 to $20.50 per hour. I want to tell you, don't expect the price on especially goods like these, what you call convenience goods, right? Don't expect the price of none of them things to go down against the backdrop of a minimum wage that is increasing. The moral of the story is labor is one of the biggest parts of several businesses, particularly service businesses and food businesses and so on. Until we can figure out how to AI doubles, and from what we see during COVID, let the experts make the doubles, right? Demand and supply go down to determine the price for them doubles. Until all they decide, or we decide that we're not eating doubles again, which probably not going to happen. Because as they continue to remind us, it's one of the cheapest, most convenient foods we could get. Tastiest and all that, so we like it. So the chances of that going down higher if all they decide, or we decide to stop eating doubles as a whole for whatever reason. But this idea that this idea that doubles gonna go back down because flour went down is poor. That's not gonna hold up. When that minimum wage go up, the price will continue to go up. I want to say that the doubles people should probably also stop using the excuse that the price of flour going up so that you had to, I mean, maybe they just don't want to come out and say it's been 3 years, we've not increased price. All our costs are going up, so we will increase from 6 to 7. But they tend to use the media outcry about flour going up is usually used by double vendors to kind of slide in a price increase to say, well, all right, flour going up, we had to think, we had to carry it up. But flour ain't carrying up the price of doubles on its own. I think it's more to do with demand and supply as a whole than that. So, sorry to bust all the doubles. Bubbles. Let me just play 2-3 more Calypso Rose for you and come out here. And I did have a plan because I was looking at Drake versus Kendrick. Ole was following that. Ole was following Drake versus Kendrick. I see about 10 songs dropping a weekend, and I am not the greatest. I ain't think I was the biggest fan of hip hop music as a whole, but I did like the fact that them fellas do a battle. I hope, I see it shooting by Drake or something. I hope that had nothing to do with the battle. But I find Kendrick come good and he make a little tune that, what's call it now, the crip walk and thing. I feel like I could learn to crip walk with some of the tunes. Some of the tunes the last tune that Kendrick did, I said, They Don't Like Us, I think is the name of the song. And it make me remember one of the greatest, when we talking about beef and battle and clash. One of the greatest beef and battle and clash that we had, or ever had in this country, was between the great Lord Melody and the great Mighty Sparrow. So I have a plan, right? I will take all you through some of those songs that was so great at the point in time, where they was able to clash with one another. And like Kendrick and Drake stay with it is. We study and we own people, right? But I'll leave it now for another week because, in full disclosure, all hell break loose this week, right? I'm recording this very late. I'm very, very tired after this weekend as well. Too much was going on this weekend. And then when I do find the time to sit down and record, all of a sudden the camera carrying my memory stick and thing, It's all kind of issues, Make me feel to go and download Grindr. I would like to play for you just a few of the non-traditional Calypso Rose songs that I would have heard over the in the show, in the play Queen of the Road, that some of them I did not know that she had versions of those songs at all. So as much as I enjoy them, you gotta enjoy them here, right? The first one I want to play is a song that I'm pretty sure another reggae group had sang this before, so she might be doing it over, right? But again, the rendition of it in the play was so good and the band was so tight and thing that I wanted to play this one for you. This is Israel by Bus by Calypso Rose.
Ethiopia, man. Get your light and water. Rastafari, brother, man. Come, little children, get on the Israelite bus. Get on the bus. Sit by the wayside, looking as though you get lost. You can't get lost. Me go take you.
bus. Natty dread, oh Israel. By bus. It would be remiss of me not to say that we want to see an end to the war in Israel and Palestine, right? That song is in no way but Israel by bus. I'm Googling it now and I'm not seeing anything that indicating that anybody had sang that before. So I know that Israel by Bus song coming up as a ska song, never knowing it's Calypso Rose sing that. This one I know several people sang, but they play it in the play and it sounds so good.
By the rivers of Babylon, where we sat down, and there we wept, when we remember Zion. By the rivers of Babylon, where we sat down, and there we wept, when we remember Zion. For the wicked carrieth away captivity, required from us a song. How can we sing it out of a song in our strange land? For the wicked carrieth away captivity, required from us a song. How can we sing it out of a song in our strange land? Sing the song, my children. I am mourning and groaning.
I could play a genuine, authentic Kaiso for you too that I hear down there with me never hear yet, but it's sweet bad.
I just had to listen when the pudding man boiling pudding. I just had to listen when the pudding man boiling pudding. He does come right in front me door and I get in the hot pudding evermore. It's the greatest I ever get and up to now I cannot regret. Every morning, every evening, the pudding man passing and the only eating. And if you see the man with the pudding in his hand, pudding all wrong, he waits is the greatest I ever did.
Yes.
Hey! The pudding! I ain't had no reason. Every night I eating black pudding. From the time I hear the voice, pudding, pudding, I ain't had no choice. Yes, I stop eating sausage from the time pudding in big village.
Yes.
And I could be sick in bed, and as I hear pudding, I open me bread. Every morning, every evening, the pudding man passing, and I only eating. And if you see the man with the pudding in his hand, pudding all wrong, he wears is the greatest I ever did. Hey, man! Hey! The pudding. The pudding.
You see why the church out of vex? The church vex like hell. The church want to all Rose father vex, Rose father push you out the house. You don't come here with that devil music again. I'm leaving you with one not traditional, right? Because I enjoy the play and I enjoy the interaction that went on between Rose and Sparrow. I think they play a great role. Is it Kern Christopher, the fella name? I'm not getting the man name right, so the guy's a man older. Kern Samuel, right? Who would have played Sparrow in the play, and the interaction between both of them was great. And it was good to see. And I'm sure that if two of them was to see each other now, the love and reverence and respect they must be have for one another. Don't mind he gets you pressure like hell. It was nice to see the interaction, and I mean, youths bringing that back to life. So salute to Kern, salute to Stacey Sobers. And in the essence of the play, I want to leave you with one by Sparrow, right? One of my favorites. This is a little dancing time, you know. Hold somebody and dance something now, man.
Girl, I want you bad. Girl, I want you bad. I'm going staring mad, oh Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Rose, darling, can't you see?
Yes.
Darling, can't you see? You mean so much to me, oh Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Why should you leave me? Why you deceive me? Girl, you're looking for clothes. Tell me why you leave me. Heaven knows.
All I want is Rose, oh Lord.
Oh Lord, oh Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Rose, tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. I'm so in love with you, oh Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Rose, you're my everything. You're my everything.
Happy like a king, oh Lord.
Oh Lord, oh Lord. Why should you leave me? Why you deceive me? Rose, you're looking for love. Why? Tell me why you leave me. Heaven knows.
All I want is Rose, oh Lord.
Oh Lord, oh Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Rose, you're the only girl. You're the only girl I want in this whole world, oh Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord. My love for you alone. Love for you alone. Please tell me you're my own. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Oh, why? Tell me why you leave me. Why you deceive me? Rose, you're looking for clothes. Why should you leave me? Heaven knows.
All I want is
Rose. Oh Lord, oh Lord. 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 Rose, darling, come back home. Darling, come back home. Please don't leave me alone, oh Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord. I give my word to you. Give my word to you. I'll never be untrue, oh Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Oh, why should you leave me? Why you deceive me? Rose, you're looking for clothes. Oh, why? Tell me why you leave me. And heaven knows all I want is Rose, oh Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord.
to stop it in that solo, you know. It's one of the greatest solo I hear in Calypso music. But hear what? Well, you have a good week and a safe week and a productive week. If you know you're a legend, keep your ice pack close, keep your Bengay and your Radiant B, keep your little Hennessy and your brandy to sap your foot and thing. And all you have a safe and productive week, and I will see you all in next week. Bye. That was Rivaldo saying whole night. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Hey, do I talk? Say, oh Lord, oh Lord. Lots of people get pass. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord.